There we go. Like maybe every other week if we could meet. Oops, it's me. Okay, so we just talked about when you started Norwex. John has been with us the longest. So what I want you guys to go around and share is what makes you, I'm going to give you a couple options, so just kind of think about it. What makes you excited about your business? What do you love the most about your business? So choose one of those to share. What makes you the most excited, or what do you love the most? John, whenever you're ready.
Well, I would say what makes me the most excited is when people finally realize the benefits of why you're using what you're using. And you can actually talk to them and they understand and they get it, and it's not just a sales pitch.
Yes. I'm writing this down. Alejandra, what makes you the most excited about your business, or what do you love about your business?
I think mine are probably one and the same. The thing that excites me the most about my business is that, being a Latina woman, I think that there are, our primary go-tos are bleach, ammonia, all those things that have horrible chemicals that affect our children. And so I think that for me, the most exciting thing is bringing it into the community and really teaching women and men in our community, that the importance of not using those in your homes and helping them understand why.
Right. There's a better way.
And that there's a better way to keep your house just as clean without using all of those harsh chemicals. And many of us have big families and young kids, and helping them. So in many of our homes, our children help us clean, and so if we're using those harsh chemicals, our children are using them also, and so it's 10 times worse for them to be exposed to those harsh chemicals as young children as it is for us as adults. So that's what excites me the most. I think that's what drives me to do what we're doing.
I love it. And, when I think about breaking into the Hispanic community, it's almost like the regions of the country that are new to Norwex. And the South is really new to Norwex. In Oregon, that's all new territory. And one of the RSMs was telling me that the growth, while you would think it would be fast, and sometimes it is, it tends to be slow because there's such an educational piece that comes with Norwex that people aren't necessarily willing to host a party or join Norwex because it takes so many exposures to it before they understand it and can buy into it. So that education piece, that's kind of where you're at right now, is the education and having them see why they need it. And so it's going to take some time, but it will happen.
And I think that, that's probably the most frustrating piece, along with it being the most exciting piece, is that I know what Norwex can offer in our homes. And with the Hispanic community, it's going to be more of building that trust and having them understand why it's so important, and then bringing the product to them. Because, I've been talking to the Hispanic Norwex consultants for a couple weeks now since they met Monica, and it's really about sharing videos that have harsh chemicals in them and helping them understand why those chemicals are so bad for us before you even expose them to Norwex. Where I was hey, here, take this home and try it, and they're like, they're rags, I don't want to try those, and not really understanding the why. So
right, that's interesting. I'm glad that you have that connection.
Yeah.
So to see how other people got that in. Yes. Yeah. Okay, Laura, same question. What keeps you excited about your business, or what do you love the most about it?
I love going to parties and just, I've only done 3 parties. So I have my 4th one this Thursday. But it's just fun going and meeting new people and just teaching them about how you can reduce chemicals in your home. I don't know. Mine's kind of simple, but
No, that's not simple. That's exactly what we're here for.
yeah.
That's not very simple.
Yeah, I know. It is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
And so Laura lives Pennsylvania, right?
Yes. Yep.
So Pennsylvania, that area is also wide open. So I said Laura's going to take over the East Coast for our team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, but
She's reluctantly going to do it for us. Okay, Leah, your turn. And I can see your face. Same question. Oh, we can't hear you. Are you muted?
it looks like she is. Yeah.
Unmute. There we go.
Sorry. Now can you hear me?
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
Can you now?
yes.
Okay. Oh dear. I think what excites me the most is obviously the product, but for the most part, just the fact that I can work this business while staying at home. That is like a huge thing for me. So that's what keeps me going.
How's your peanut?
That is it in a nutshell.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to
She's good. She's good. I might have to jump off in a minute, but yes.
That's okay. You can catch up when you can. Oops, gosh. Okay, so I don't know if any of you printed off that PDF that I sent you earlier. If not, if you have a notepad, you can jot this down. So making your decision to join Norwex as a consultant was probably based on a few things that were important to you. And when you think about those things, I think we just kind of addressed them, but the number one reason that you wanted to become a Norwex consultant. So this is kind of leading into our why that I asked you to prepare for tonight. So if you have this printed out, you can start to fill it out. If you don't, I do want you to fill it out on your own time and put it wherever you do your work, in your office, or tape it to your laptop, wherever you'll see it. So your why, I just was listening to a podcast the other day, and it was talking about how sometimes we get people to start right away. They're super excited about their Norwex business. They hit their first steps, and then they kind of fizzle out. And the reason why that happens is because they don't have that why that pulls them through. And your why is what pulls you through the ups and downs. Because I'm going to tell you this, the last 2 months have been really hard for me. Not necessarily business-wise, but just kind of mentally and emotionally when it comes to my Norwex business. And if I followed my emotions, I would have quit a long, long time ago. And most people do. So it's that why that pulls you. The pain pushes you until your why pulls you. And you want to kind of dig deep into that why. So you will continue your Norwex business when people are sick, when your parties all suck for 2 months in a row, that kind of thing. So does anybody want to share their why? This I won't make you do because sometimes they're kind of personal, but would anybody like to share their why? Don't be shy. Alejandra, I kind of feel like what you just talked about is a huge.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. I muted myself because my son just got home. I think my why is really the same reason why I'm so excited to be a part of Norwex. It's really about creating more safe havens in our community and helping people understand why those chemicals are so harsh. And I just saw a video today or an article that came out today about how they're finding that some of the chemicals we use in our home are really the root cause of cancer. And I think that it's scary to think that we are bringing those products into our homes and exposing our children to them.
And there are studies that have shown that stay-at-home moms have higher rates of cancer than moms who work, because we are the ones home doing all the housework and around those chemicals all the time. And anyway, and I know a lot of the Hispanic moms do stay home, and they are the ones around those chemicals. So what is your plan for your Norwex money? Like, what do you guys want to do with the income from Norwex? Like, let's get down to that, like, just realistic. For my family, we've been putting it towards my son's private school tuition and just debt. What do you guys want to do with your Norwex business money? John, how about you?
I probably need that kick in the rear more than anybody here at quite a bit of times. And I'm not one for a lot of the parties. I like the craft fairs, vendor fairs, instead of the at-home parties. Because from a guy's perspective, sometimes I get it seems a little creepy that I want to come into someone's home and clean. So I find that those are a little bit easier for me to reach a few more people, and I can get my point across. And sometimes they'll listen to me a little bit more than I kind of have to. My first thing is getting over where that, hey, I like to clean and I like to cook and do things like that. So from a guy's perspective, it's a little bit different. So my goal eventually would be, I would like to replace my job with something like this. As of right now, it's kind of, hey, let's use it and let's do a vacation kind of thing, and maybe we turn it in and keep going if I can just get a lot of these other things taken care of and then with my app first, I could dedicate a little bit more time and see this turn into what I really would like it to be.
And John, I always look at you and see such potential, and I have since the day we met, and you know that.
Yes, I do.
But there is a consultant, I feel like they're a husband and wife team, and they pretty much do their whole business just at vendor events, trade shows, and that kind of thing. I'm going to hunt them down and have them message you, because they might be somebody you could pick their brain.
That would be a good idea, because Ann does some of those, my wife, vendor fairs, and does some of her glasses and things, and that's kind of, we kind of teamed up some of that stuff here, and she's got a bunch that start up in about 2 or 3 weeks, and then we go for a couple months every weekend. So I'm going to try to tag team onto hers and kind of see what I can do. And
you need to look ahead at her calendar and contact each one of those and ask, do you have a Norwex person? Because a lot of them already might. And
right, and that's what I've started doing. So
good.
And then if not, it's like, hey, let's put a table, and I've built a little bit now to go vertical in my table, and I've got the crates, and I stack the things up, and it really has worked pretty good. So
I love it. I love it. I'm so excited. Laura, do you have anything you want to add to your income potential, or what you would like to do with your Norwex income?
It's just always nice to have extra money. So I put it towards debt, credit cards. So
yeah.
And then once that's done, I don't know, just put it into savings, I guess.
Yeah. Good. I love it. So if you have it right in front of you or not, when you print it, then down underneath it says, what is my dream goal or passion? I really want you to fill that out. And then it says, in order to achieve my goal, I commit to dedicating blank hours per week to my business and hold blank number of parties each month. And it says, whether it's full-time or just an hour a day, it's important to dedicate time to your business every week. So that's a promise that you're going to make to yourself and your family. And I think going through the motion of writing it down and signing it, it sometimes feels silly. Nobody knows, I'm not going to know if you're doing it or not, but writing down goals is such a huge step in actually making them happen. Keeping them in your head doesn't accomplish them. You have to write them down. Okay, so the next slide. So this one I am going to talk through a little bit. And this is nothing new, but Norwex, what I love about this 4-2-2 party formula, so back before they came out with this, the success formula that Norwex gave us was 10 parties a month, hold 8, and book 2 parties for every party. 10 is kind of a lot to wrap your mind around. So they actually went and studied the field, and they looked at all the leaders, everyone who was partying, everyone who had promoted to team coordinator, sales leader, ESL, and beyond, and they looked at what they were really doing. So they found that the average team coordinator was having 4 parties a month, getting about 2 bookings per party, and having 2 recruiting conversations per party, and that kind of built a successful business. So it's that consistent party business. And I will say I have never in my business had more than 4 to 6 parties a month. That's kind of where I've always maxed out. And so in 3 years, I've built a good sized business just on that. So when you think back to your success promise that you just were thinking about, how many hours do you commit to working a week? How many parties does that translate to? So if you commit, say, 5 hours a week, that's probably 1 party a week plus then your follow-up time. If you commit 10 hours a week, that's probably 2 parties a week plus then follow-up and just business type stuff. So that's kind of how it translates for you. And then how many parties? Oh, okay. So that's my next question. So then just hold up your fingers. How many parties do you currently have booked in the next 4 weeks? Now, John, I know it's a little different for you. You can count your vendor fairs because that is legitimate. So in the next 4 weeks, how many parties do you have on your calendar? Wow, good job, guys. We all have our strengths. We all have our weaknesses. I'm going to be transparent with you. My strength is recruiting and team building and leadership. My weakness has always been parties and sales. I've never earned a trip yet. I've never had more than 4 or 6 parties a month. So that's kind of my weak area, and I'm aware of it, and I'm working towards it. So awesome. Alejandra, you have more than me. Okay, so how many more parties would you like to have in the next 4 weeks? So show me with your fingers, how many parties would you like to add to your calendar? 4 more, 2 more, 2 more. Okay, so the next thing is look at your calendar. And in the past, I know this is part of my weakness, I haven't been in control of my calendar. I have always been like, hey, if you're willing to party, I'll make it work. And that really is not a postured, confident way to approach your calendar. The first thing you should do is get your August calendar out and block out everything that doesn't work for you. I've always been very good about keeping Sunday for my family, but every now and then I find a hostess who only wants to party on Sunday, and I will allow it. And I have come to realize that that is giving up something that's important to me. So I'm blocking off my Sundays. You control your calendar, not your host. Let's see. Now, like what John was talking about, let's brainstorm. And I was muting you for a second, but I'm going to unmute you. Why is this? Let's talk about some other kinds of parties or ways to interact with people beyond a traditional in-home party, 6 to 8 guests. What other things could you do?
I would like to do more vendor fairs like John does. I mean, I think that would be really helpful. Even build your clientele. Even if you're not booking parties from it, you are meeting new people, exposing more people to the product. So for me, I would like to do that. Just get out in the community a little bit more.
Are there very many vendor events like in the Hispanic community, like at churches or?
Yeah, not really. I keep thinking it would be really cool to create one, but as I think about it, I'm like, I don't really have the time to create a whole vendor fair event. But
it's hard because you work full time.
Yeah. And like our high school has like a vendor event at Christmas time that, I think that would be really helpful because it's a lot of the Hispanic community, but really there's not. I mean, it would be like going to a community event and just handing stuff out at community events. But again, in the Hispanic community, you don't want to just hand stuff out because people are going to throw it away. And
Right.
not really, unless they know why you're doing it, they're not going to really adapt to it. So
They're not going to know what you're giving them.
yeah.
So there are other things you guys can do. Like if people, I have found sometimes people resist the idea of a traditional party for whatever reason, but something like over a lunch hour at a coffee shop, like I'm going to come to your house and clean your dirtiest thing, bring a friend, you know, just so you're kind of getting into that mode where it doesn't feel like it's the traditional salesy party scenario. I've even done like a mom's play group where the moms come over, the kids are in the living room playing, the moms are drinking coffee, and we just talk about Norwex. So it could be simple like that. Do you have any themed parties? Are any of you good at theme ideas? No, I was gonna say, Laura, I feel like you would be good at themed parties. I'm not either.
Yeah.
But there are themed parties like margaritas and microfiber, wine and shine, poolside, barbecue. I mean, guys and girls party. Like there really is no limit to, it's just your imagination. So that's a way that you could expand your offerings by some of those just fun party themes. Okay, next slide or we're gonna run out of time. Okay, so your Frankie list. Hopefully you brought your Frankie list. And I'm gonna skip it for just a minute, but the one that I wanted you to add to the Frankie is the letter P, and that's your past customers and hosts, because that's your funnel. So we want to move our party customers and hosts, party customers into our VIP groups and into our follow-up, and then from there they become hosts, and from there they become team members. Okay, so skip to the next page. All right, so our power statement. This is exciting to me. I love things like this because a lot of times when we meet somebody at a party out in public and they ask us what we do, it's hard to give an answer. We don't really know what to say. Sometimes we hesitate to tell people because we don't know what to say, or it sounds awkward, or we're fumbling over our words. So these 3 sentence starters are the perfect way to start that conversation or to answer their question. So I want you to take a minute and look at those and think about them and write them down. And then we're going to talk about the bottom. And then I want you to pick one to share. This is another page I want you to post in your office or on your refrigerator in your home. I like the second one because I just like it. So I would say something like, what I love most about what I'm doing is that I get to teach people how to live more natural and toxin free, which then creates a legacy for the future. So part of my why and my driving force is all about leaving a legacy. And that legacy is multifaceted. It's a legacy of faith for my children. It's a legacy for my grandchildren to come to our property and pick apples someday. It's a legacy of health, because we suffered with infertility and cancer, and I don't want that for my kids. The environment, that's part of the legacy, that they will have oceans to swim in instead of plastic islands. You know, so all of that legacy is part of why I love what I'm doing. It's because I'm leaving a legacy for the next generation with Norwex. All right, who wants to share one? You can do any of those 3.
I'll go ahead and start.
Okay, John.
You know, it's fun because mine kind of runs all together, because I originally had joined because basically I like to clean, and I wanted to save a little money, and I thought maybe this stuff might actually work. And now once you get into it and you find out, oh my gosh, not only does it work, it works tremendously, and I don't have to do it as often. And now it's gotten into got rid of my cleaners and everything out from under the sink and replaced those with the veggie brush, the hooks under my cupboards and counters, everything, everywhere. And it's better now but I've got grandkids to worry about that are now going to be 3 in September that come over, twin boys, and now I don't have to worry about when they get into the stuff, and I get excited to share that with other people and get them to see it's not just a gimmick. You're not all about just trying to sell something. It's natural. It's making things better. It's changing the way that you do some of that stuff, so you don't have. It's one less worry to worry about when kids or grandkids have to do it. And to me, that's where I find it exciting.
And I love that, John, because I can hear your passion when you talk. Like, that is your passion. Does anybody else want to share one?
I will, I guess.
Okay.
I love doing this because I just been a stay-at-home mom for 13 years, and my sister and I, we sold LuLaRoe, but this is just kind of different because I'm doing it on my own, and I just feel like I'm doing something, I guess, besides raising kids, and I don't know, it's just something fun for me to do. So, and I like the products because obviously they're chemical free. So, and I've been trying to get rid of chemicals in my house for a while. So, and the organic cleaning stuff is so expensive. So, I don't know.
You hit now on something really powerful. I didn't join Norwex necessarily because I needed the money. And there are a lot of people out there that don't need the income. They need something else, the something for themselves, something bigger. And as a stay-at-home mom, like you're touching on, like that will resonate with a lot of people, a lot of women who, it's me, the kids, these 4 walls all day, every day. It's hard. Like, this is for me. Yes, that's powerful. Okay,
that would be a good one, Kelly, and maybe we could share this stuff afterwards, because those would be neat. Because from my viewpoint, I really like hearing that, Laura, because it gives me a little different angle to hit on, because it's different for me, from a guy's perspective, to have that and to be able to work that point across sometimes.
Well, and there's a couple markets, and this is something we can talk about too in other meetings, is the marketplaces that I have not had very much success with is like the baby boomer generation that's hitting retirement, because a lot of them are looking for supplemental income. Their retirement income doesn't pay all the bills. And the millennial generation, because they tend to be very skeptical and they want authenticity, but they're also very savvy. And if they buy into what you're selling, they're in 100%. So, what are you doing? Where's Daddy? I don't know. Go in the bedroom. Go find Daddy. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Okay, we got to keep going. We have 7 minutes. Okay, so this is something you're going to have to do when we are done. But what I want you to do with your Frankie list. Sissy, give me 5 minutes. She got up and turned on her light. Sorry. Okay, so when you look at your Frankie list, what I want you to do is go through the people's names one by one and think about why they would like Norwex, what it would do for them. Is somebody on that list into essential oils or into green cleaning, or are they a busy mom, that kind of thing. And then put a heart next to anyone who you think would make a really great host. And then that's who you're going to go back and reach out to when, like, in the next 48 hours. That's our goal, is to book a party in the next 48 hours. And I'm zipping through this now because our time is almost over. Okay. So we just talked about a couple different reasons why somebody would join Norwex: stay-at-home mom, needing an extra income or supplementing income, that kind of thing. So when you go back to your Frankie list, I want you to put a heart next to anybody who you think would be open to hosting, and then put a star next to anybody that you think would be open to hearing more information about the Norwex business opportunity. So we are not going to have time to role play some of this verbiage, but there is a great Chris Carlson video that I will post in our group message for you to watch. And she talks about how to walk people through our opportunity brochure. So have you guys seen our opportunity brochure, that little square document? So that is brand new, and that has been such a great tool in walking people through potentially joining Norwex. And when it comes to recruiting conversations, all you're doing is seeing if they're open. They don't have to be a yes or a no. You're just seeing if they're open, and going from there. And if you ever need help with verbiage, please come to me, because that's a strength of mine. Okay, before we go on, we have one more slide. Do you guys have any comments, thoughts, questions? I'm sorry I'm rushing now. We're almost out of time. Anything?
So I think it would be helpful to, during our June recruiting Facebook thing that we did, Sophia, please, having some seed examples, I think is really helpful. And I know that having some seed examples, I think, is really helpful, how to plant the seed. And I know that, I don't know if there was a document. I can't remember if it was a document or just all the comments that were made but putting those into a document would be really helpful. Maybe if there's not a document, maybe I can go back through there and put a document together for our team.
Yes, there's an image. It's kind of outdated, honestly. So maybe us, we could even come up with some more booking seeds and recruiting seeds and how to sprinkle them into your parties and just conversations. That's a really good idea. Okay. I'm writing this down. So I really do want you to finish filling out this career copy, because walking through this is going to help us the next time that we meet, just have a better, kind of more solid vision of what you want your business to look at. Okay, so here's our last slide. So I'm really proud of you guys, and I'm so excited for you guys to be here investing in yourselves and taking this step towards building a business. So now we're going to make a commitment. I am leaving for conference on Wednesday morning, okay? So when I'm at conference, you guys are going to have some time to really dig deep. I want you to fill out this commitment page and take a picture of it and send it to me, and then who knows, you might get something special from conference, okay? So that's what I want you to do. So think about 3 to 5 people that you could reach out to, that you will reach out to in the next 48 hours. And then I know this says 1 month, but I like the 90-day kind of time frame a little better. You know, what could you be, you want to promote in 90 days? Who's going to be your accountability partner? I'm your leader. I'm your jacket leader. So that's what I want you to do. So fill this out, send it to me. I love you guys. Talk to me in the group chat, okay? Because it's going to kick us off here. All right. Love you guys so much.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
You guys
Thank you.
meet again. Let's give it 2 weeks.
Okay. Have fun at
Have fun.
conference.